Alright, so I got a story for you guys today. I'm going to talk about my old military college. And keep in mind that this was a military college and the school itself wasn't really that bad, but living a little off campus and in the barracks just off campus, that was the bad part. Okay, so for you guys to understand this story, you have to know what bull ring is. Bull ring is a punishment that you get at the military college when you're a cadet and you stay in the barracks. So bull ring comes in hours. If you mess up, if you make a mistake, if you do anything wrong, they punish you with the bull ring. Now what bull ring is, it's hours of marching. You literally just march for hours. On the weekends, not when you want to, but when everyone else does it. They will take up your entire weekend with marching you around if you still have hours to do. And if you don't show up, you get more hours. So you'll spend an entire weekend just marching around if you've been in trouble. You won't get your diploma or transcripts or anything until you've completed all of your bull ring. So you have to do it if you want to get your diploma. It's just really bad because of how poorly executed everything was and how bad the communication was. See, they had formations at random times. I mean, not at random times, but they had specific formations, and then every now and then there would be like a special formation and an event you had to go to that was mandatory. So you go to these formations and you get march present, and that's that. However, if you're not there, you get hours of bull ring. But because this was a college, many students had class. So when you go to class, you don't show up for the formation, you get bull ring. Sometimes you could fight that, sometimes you couldn't. However, if you don't show up to class, you also get bull ring. So it's kind of a lose-lose situation. And this is on top of waking up at I forget what it was, 5 or 5:30 every morning to go do PT every day of the week except for, I think it was Friday or Thursday or something. So everyone's always tired, and then they keep you up at night. You can't go to sleep during the study hall hours at the end of the day. You're not allowed to. I mean, it was just very poorly executed, so everyone's always tired and cranky. But then on top of that, on your weekends when you could be resting or catching up on schoolwork, you're forced to go march around outside for hours on end. And I mean, there were people that have collected well over 100 hours that had to go serve it until they finally completed it. So I mean, it's just a massive waste of time. But I'll give you a little story on something that happened to me at the little food court that they have there. So as a cadet, you pay for your lunch and your dinner and your breakfast with your ID card. It doesn't cost money, it's on the card. And this is connected to a prep school. So I mean, there's kids there. The kids there can pay with money or I think their card. I'm not really sure how that works. But we paid with our ID card. So one day I go to the chow hall and I go through the line. I get my food. I got a tray full of food and drinks, whatever. Getting my nourishment for the day. And I get to the end and I realize that I left my wallet in my room. So I'm sitting there with a tray of food that I can't pay for, and I was told by this lunch lady that I had to go throw my food away. I couldn't give it to anyone. I couldn't leave it there and come back. I had to literally take it and put all of this food in the trash. I didn't come back that day. I went hungry. I was so furious. I mean, I sit there and argued with him, and I fought with him. I was like, do you realize how stupid this is? And one of the lunch ladies there was actually pretty nice about it. She told me she understood and how stupid it was. But her boss was there, and she was the one making me throw the food away. I mean, it's so ridiculous. Can you imagine that? You had to waste food for no real reason? I mean, I had already gotten it. Just let me eat, man. I'm starving. I have to get up and work out every morning, and and go to all these classes, and you're going to tell me, oh, I can't get my food because I left my card in the room. Like, are you serious? So yeah, that school has a good bit of flaws. Anyway, I am going to go to the library, get me some lunch, and I will be back shortly. And I will pick up with this story momentarily. Alright, where was I? Just got out of class. Biology. Took a lot of notes. Not too much interesting. Anyway, at my old college, there was a time where I almost got arrested for something I didn't do. Blinker. So we had suite mates. We kind of lived in like this little suite together. So one of them had a really nice laptop and had to go away for a week for something. And one of the people that like worked at the barracks went to go check on it, and apparently it like wasn't on his desk where he said it was. So, and apparently like I was the only person on camera that had like left the room or whatever, which I know isn't true because there was 4 people that live in that room with me. So they were telling me like I stole it and all that good stuff. And later they went to check on it again. I don't know if he just missed it the first time or if somebody moved it, but the laptop was like on his desk. So the laptop I don't really think ever left the room and nobody really stole it. But I was blamed for it, and they told me like to pack all my stuff up and that I was getting arrested. The school cop there, I mean, she hated me. She hated me from like the moment she met me because she didn't know the law very well, and I always criticized her for like parking on the sidewalk and on the crosswalks. She was just in general a bad cop. So yeah, they tried to arrest me for that. I had to get a lawyer. They were telling me like I had to come in and take a lie detector test, and I needed to admit that I did it, and I was like, I didn't do it, and I'm not coming to take your lie detector test. And I remember they called me, and like I didn't answer it on my home phone, and they were telling me like the date I had to come in and take the lie detector test, and like I wasn't at home, so I didn't get the message or whatever. But then I got like a phone call later on. They're like, oh, you're in big trouble. You missed the date to take the lie detector test. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. I didn't do anything wrong. The laptop's not even missing. It's on his desk right now. So I don't even know what the problem is. And they were like, oh, you still stole it. It was you. I was like, no, it definitely wasn't. And I mean, eventually it all worked out. Like, I had the lawyer help me out, and even the guy whose laptop went missing was like, no, he didn't do it. He wouldn't even do anything like that. So yeah, that was the time they tried to arrest me for something I didn't do. That place was crazy. There was always people that like went out on the weekends and tried to get drunk and stuff. There was one dude who came back and, I got wet from the sprinklers all the way over here. There was one dude who came back and passed out in the shower on, like, the second floor above the main office for the barracks. And apparently, he flooded his room, the whole bathroom, and the office that was under him. Falling asleep in the shower was not a good idea for that man. I mean, they make memes about him now. It's joked about to this day. I mean, he's legendary. He's known for flooding the barracks, all because he wanted to fall asleep in the shower. That poor guy. Well, that is my story today about my old military college. So, yeah. There's plenty more stories that happened there, and I can go back and recap some of those if you guys want to hear them. But for now, I'm going back to my room and I gotta get some work done, so I will catch you guys later.